Nigeria's history is not only written by men. It is written by brave women. Women who fought injustice. Women who broke barriers. Women who changed the destiny of millions. Today, we tell the stories of 10 great women who shaped Nigerian history forever. Mary Slessor was born in 1848 in Aberdeen, Scotland, into a poor working-class family. From a young age, she worked in factories to support her family, and this taught her resilience and compassion for suffering people. She was inspired by stories of missionaries in Africa and felt called to help vulnerable communities. In 1876, she traveled to Calabar, in present-day Cross River State, Nigeria. There, she discovered that twins were considered evil and were often abandoned or killed because of superstition. Shocked by this practice, Mary Slessor began rescuing twin babies and raising them in her own home. She learned the local language and adopted the people's way of life so she could win their trust. Over time, she convinced community leaders and authorities to outlaw the killing of twins. Her courage saved thousands of lives and changed a cruel tradition into a celebration of twins in Nigeria. Queen Amina was born in the 16th century in Zazzau, present-day Zaria in Kaduna State. She was the daughter of a powerful king and was trained in military strategy from a young age. Unlike most women of her time, Amina learned how to fight, ride horses, and command soldiers. When she became queen, she led armies into battle and expanded her kingdom across much of northern Nigeria. She built strong city walls to protect towns and encourage trade, many of which are remembered today as Amina's walls. Her reign brought security, wealth, and respect to her people. Queen Amina proved that leadership and bravery were not limited by gender, becoming one of Africa's most legendary female rule. Funmilayo Ransome Kuti was born in 1900 in Abeokuta, Ogun State. She received a formal education at a time when very few Nigerian girls were allowed to go to school. She became a teacher and later a strong voice for women's rights and political freedom. What pushed her into activism was the unfair taxation of women by colonial rulers. Women were poor, yet forced to pay heavy taxes. Funmilayo organized thousands of women into the Abeokuta Women's Union and led massive protests against injustice. She became the first Nigerian woman to drive a car and one of the first women to participate in politics. Her courage changed the role of women in Nigerian public life forever. Margaret Ekpo was born in 1914 in Creek Town, Cross River State. She traveled abroad for education and returned to Nigeria with a strong sense of political awareness. She saw how women traders and market women suffered under colonial laws and economic hardship. This motivated her to organize women and teach them about their rights and the power of political participation. Margaret Ekpo became one of the first women to contest elections and enter Nigerian politics. She represented women in government and fought for better treatment of traders and workers. Her life showed that women could influence national policy. Hajiya Gambo Soraba was born in 1933 in Zaria, northern Nigeria. She grew up in a society where girls were rarely allowed to go to school, and women had very little voice. Witnessing forced marriages and the lack of education for girls pushed her into activism. She joined political movements and spoke boldly against child marriage and discrimination. Because of her activism, she was arrested and imprisoned many times. Despite suffering, she refused to be silent. Her bravery inspired many northern Nigerian women to demand education and freed. Grace Alil Williams was born in 1932 in Warri, Delta State. From childhood, she showed strong talent in mathematics and academics. She pursued higher education at a time when very few women were encouraged to study science. Her determination led her to become the first female vice-chancellor of a Nigerian university, the University of Benin. She worked to improve education standards and encouraged girls to enter science and technology fields. Her success broke academic barriers and changed the face of Nigerian education. She became a role model for women in higher learning. Dora Akunayeli was born in 1954 in Anambra State. She studied pharmacy and became a professor. Her personal tragedy changed her life's mission when her sister died after taking fake drugs. This pain pushed her to fight counterfeit medicine in Nigeria. As head of NAFDAC, she shut down illegal drug factories and seized dangerous medicines. She survived assassination attempts but continued her work. Her courage saved countless Nigerian lives. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was born in 1954 in Ogwashiuku, Delta State. She studied economics and worked at the World Bank for many years. Her intelligence and discipline made her one of the most respected economists in the world. As Nigeria's Minister of Finance, she helped secure debt relief for the country and fought corruption. In 2021, she became the first woman and first African Director General of the World Trade Organization. Her leadership showed that Nigerian women could lead global institutions. Chioma Ajunwa was born in 1970 in Imo State. She joined the Nigerian police force and trained as an athlete. Despite limited resources and support, she continued to train hard. In 1996, she won Nigeria's first Olympic gold medal in the long jump at the Atlanta Olympics. Her victory brought pride to the nation and inspired young Nigerian girls to pursue sports. She showed that discipline and determination can overcome obstacles.
Stella Jane Thomas was a trailblazing Nigerian legal professional who broke barriers for women in West Africa. She is widely recognized as West Africa's first female barrister and Nigeria's first female magistrate, paving the way for women in the legal profession. She was born in Lagos, Nigeria, during the colonial era, a time when very few women had access to higher education or professional careers. Despite these limitations, Stella Thomas pursued her education with determination and later traveled to the United Kingdom to study law. In 1933, she was called to the bar at the prestigious Middle Temple in London, one of the Inns of Court responsible for training barristers. This achievement made her the first woman from West Africa to qualify as a barrister. After returning to Nigeria, she began her legal career, practicing as a barrister and later serving as a magistrate. Throughout her career, she was known for her professionalism, integrity, and commitment to justice. She served in the judiciary until her retirement in 1971, leaving behind a legacy of excellence and courage. Stella Jane Thomas's life and work opened doors for future generations of Nigerian women in law and public service. Her achievements remain a powerful symbol of resilience, determination, and breaking societal barriers.
What is the most important challenge that women face today?
The most important challenge women face today, intimidation. Take for instance, when I was contesting from the position of this councillorship, a man came up and said, over his dead body for me to become a councillor, that the position of a woman ends in the kitchen. And by the grace of God, I contested the election and I won.
Are you ever afraid of making mistakes? How do you deal with the fear?
Afraid of making mistakes? Actually not. Because, you know, my dad sort of told me that if I am able to just think things through and give my best to it, if I ended up with a mistake, then it's bound to happen because I'm a human being. I'm not God. And so never be afraid of making mistakes. Whatever your mind tells you that you should do, just go ahead and do it.
What are you most proud of as a woman in your position?
The fact that what am I most proud of? The fact that I'm actually here. I've survived a couple of very vicious political events in my life. And I'm proud that at the end of the day, I'm still standing. I think that's what I'm most proud of. That in spite of everything, all the knockdowns of everything, the fact that I'm a woman, that I am still standing, I am very proud of that.
What's the greatest obstacle you've ever had to overcome? Okay, well, growing up after the incidents that claimed my physical sight, I found myself in a society where I had to battle two things. First, as a lady, as a woman with ambitions, and then secondly, as a woman now living with a disability. It was a hell of a challenge for me. The society began to define for me what was and what shouldn't be, and I just kind of had it in my DNA to break and fight through all the odds, and it wasn't easy. So I think I had to deal a lot with acceptance and people just hearing me out, just listening to me.
What key characteristics have helped you get to this point, and how can young girls cultivate them?
I think for me, I think the main thing I will say is the fact that I just don't like people telling me what I can or cannot do. So that in itself, maybe that stubbornness, that in itself has kept me going. Also, the fact that I just feel that I have nothing to lose if I don't try. I mean, just try. It doesn't matter whether you fail, it doesn't matter whether you fall, just try. You just never know until you try.
Have you ever dealt with gender discrimination or stereotyping? How did you handle it?
Well, get ready for the fact that occasionally you're going to meet some silly people in the course of life. And they are going to want to say to you that, because you're a woman, you should not be saying this, you should not be doing this. Let me tell you, you must draw strength from within you. You know, the first thing that you are is not a woman. The first thing that you are is a human being. And to the extent that you're a human being, you have come into this world with your own skills, your own talent, with your own gift, with your own character, and that means that you're a unique individual. So when I confront that kind of a situation, I simply go within myself and I say to myself, there's no other Obi Ezekwesili anywhere in the world. So please don't come and give me any gender stereotyping. Whatever I place my mind that I want to do, I can do it. So I just dismiss it.
These women were born in different times and places. Some were queens. Some were teachers. Some were activists. Some were scientists and athletes. But they shared one thing: the courage to challenge the limits of their time. They did not wait for permission to change history. They became history.